Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dive into a skill that is absolutely essential in the professional world. How to make your writing so good, so clear, and so powerful that people have to pay attention to it.
So let me ask you this. Have you ever poured days, maybe even weeks, into a super detailed, well-researched report, only to get the feeling that nobody even really read it? Yeah, it's an awful feeling, and it happens all the time. You do all this great work, and it just vanishes into the black hole of someone's inbox.
Here's the real issue. The people you're writing for, your boss, your clients, the decision makers, they are busy, like really busy. They just don't have time to read every single word you write. So what do? They make a snap judgment based on the first thing they see and the last thing they see. It's kind of like judging a book by its cover and its final page. If you nail those two parts, you're already way ahead of the game.
So, in this explainer, we're going to give you the toolkit you need to get your work noticed. First up, we'll talk about that powerful first impression, the executive summary. Then we'll cover how to leave a lasting impression with a really strong conclusion. After that, we'll get into the nitty-gritty and polish things up by mastering verb tenses. And to wrap it all up, we'll give you a simple checklist you can use every single time you write.
Okay, let's start with your opening move. This is your report's first impression, and you only get one shot. The executive summary isn't just some boring intro. It is your single best opportunity to hook a reader and convince them that the rest of your report is worth their time.
So what exactly is it? Well, think of an executive summary as the movie trailer for your report. It's a high-level overview of the entire document, giving the whole story in just a few paragraphs. Its whole purpose is to give a busy person everything they absolutely need to know and fast. Honestly, a great summary can be the difference between your report being read cover to cover or just getting tossed on the pile.
And the good news is, there's a proven formula for this. A really powerful summary has 6 key ingredients. You start with a punchy opening statement, you explain the problem, you present your key findings, state your conclusions, offer clear recommendations, and then you finish with a direct call to action. You follow these steps, and you're going to have a summary that really grabs people's attention.
A great opening statement needs to hit you right away. Just look at this example. It doesn't just say, "This report is about AI." No way. It gets right to the point with hard numbers. A 35% increase in engagement, a 15% boost in revenue. That kind of specificity is what makes a reader sit up and say, "Okay, I need to know more about this."
Now, when you get to your key findings, please don't bury them in a wall of text. Use bullet points. Make your data pop, just like you see here. It makes everything so much easier to scan. 3 times more likely. 40% of adults. $40 billion. Your numbers are the heroes of the story here, so you gotta put them in the spotlight.
All right, here are the absolute must-dos. First, keep your summary short, about 5 to 10% of the whole report. Use active voice. It's just more direct, more powerful. And here's a big one. Even though it comes first in the document, you should always write the summary last. That way, you know for sure it actually reflects what's in the final report. And of course, proofread it like your career depends on it. Because, it just might.
And just as important are the things you should not do. Never, ever introduce new information in the summary. It's a summary, not a surprise party. And resist that temptation to just copy and paste big chunks from your report. You're supposed to be synthesizing, not just repeating. And finally, avoid being vague. Be specific. Let the data do the talking.
Okay, so we've totally nailed the first impression. Now let's talk about the last one. A strong conclusion is the final thought you leave with your reader. It's your last chance to drive home your key message and push them toward action. This is what they're going to remember.
And, just like the executive summary, a great conclusion has a clear roadmap. You're going to briefly restate why you wrote the report, summarize your most important findings, explain what those findings actually mean, give some actionable recommendations, maybe touch on what the future looks like, and, you guessed it, end with another clear call to action. When you're summarizing your findings in the conclusion, you're really just reminding the reader of your most powerful evidence. For example, pointing out that chatbots handle 70% of inquiries, satisfaction is up 15%, and response time dropped from 15 minutes down to 2. That's not just data. That's a story of a huge success. So, to make your conclusion really stick, keep it concise, around 10% of the report's total length. Use strong, decisive language. Avoid weak phrases like, "it would seem that." You want to sound confident. And try to keep the tone positive and focused on opportunities, even if you're talking about challenges. And, of course, make sure it lines up perfectly with everything else you've written.
So we've built these really strong bookends for our report, right? A great start and a great finish. Now it's time for the final polish. Because let's be honest, nothing kills great ideas faster than sloppy grammar. The absolute foundation of clean, professional writing is getting your verb tenses right. It shows you're precise and that you care about the details.
Let's do a super quick review of the basics. Present tense is for stuff happening now. Past tense is for actions that are already done. And future tense is for things that haven't happened yet. I know, it sounds simple, but getting this right is what makes the timeline of your story crystal clear for the reader.
But the real key, the most important part, is consistency. Look at this example. The word yesterday immediately tells you we're in the past, so the verb has to be in the past tense too. It's not go, it's went. It might seem like a tiny mistake, but a bunch of these little inconsistencies can make your writing feel clunky and, frankly, unprofessional. And once you've got the basics down, there are some more advanced things that can really level up your writing. Like when you report what someone else said, the tense often takes a step back in time, from am to was, or conditional sentences, which use special tense pairings to talk about what-if scenarios. Mastering these little details is really what separates the good writers from the great ones.
Okay, we have covered a ton of ground. We've built the structure, we've added the polish, so now let's pull it all together into one simple, actionable checklist that you can use for pretty much every piece of professional writing from here on out.
And here it is, your roadmap to success. Start strong with a killer executive summary. Finish strong with a conclusion that leaves no doubt. Use data to back up everything you say. Keep your grammar clean and consistent for that professional shine. Always tell your reader what to do next. And finally, for the love of all that is holy, proofread. Then have someone else proofread. Your credibility is on the line.
So, at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. Impactful writing isn't about using big, fancy words. It's about strategy. It's having a compelling start that hooks your reader, a decisive finish that moves them to act, and tying it all together with flawless execution that builds trust. Use these tools, and I promise you, your hard work will finally get the attention it deserves.